Joining me now for the special edition of the Velshi Band Book Club is Shirley Robinson, Executive Director of the Texas Library Association. Shirley, thanks for being with us. I want to start by getting your reaction to the bill that we were just talking about that was passed in the Texas House, targeting so-called sexually explicit bill. The things that it target sound like things that would have popular appeal, but it is censorship.
It absolutely is censorship. We have worked tirelessly over the last few months with our lawmakers and elected officials here in the state to make sure that the aim of this bill is not going to create restrictions in getting reading materials into the hands of students. So there are a couple of elements that we are still working on with our lawmakers here in Texas. One would be a rating system that would be very challenging for book vendors to implement universally across the distribution of books into our school libraries. It's going to create a lot of chaos and confusion. A couple of other elements would just really increase the timeline for making sure that libraries are able to provide AP materials to complement what's happening in the classroom, making sure that the latest book in a series is available for our avid readers in our schools. So lots of concerning elements that we're really trying to work with our lawmakers on, but are going to create a lot of complications for education in the state of Texas.
How do you answer the question when people say this is about filth and pornography and sexually explicit material? How do you make that distinction that the stuff that they're calling pornography and filth sometimes is experiential and that readers may need to know about other people's experiences? And secondly, we're sort of not in that era that we're supposed to be doing that. We do actually have a First Amendment. We do have the ability to write things, and people have the choices to take them from a library or not take them from a library. It's freedoms that we're removing here.
That's absolutely right. And first and foremost, we have to remember that librarians are trained professionals. They have master's degrees in library science. They operate under industry standards that are approved by their locally elected boards to make sure that a collection reflects the unique and diverse needs of that particular community. So it really is all about local decision making and making sure that students have access to the books that they need in the time that they need them. You know, it's really important to know that a parent has the ultimate right to choose and to work with their child to ensure that the values of their family are reflected in the materials that their student is reading, but they don't have the right to choose and determine what other students read. So it is a very subjective definition of filth and pornography. It is denigrating the profession for librarians. They're being called names that no professional should ever or anyone should ever be called. And it really needs to stop. And we need the public to make sure that they are in conversation with their librarians and supporting them in this very, very challenging time.
You wrote an op-ed for the Austin American-Statesman it was entitled "Book Bans Are About Winning Elections, Not Protecting Children." In it you write, "The Texas Library Association won't be silent while the rights of parents and students are chipped away under the guise of protecting kids. We refuse to go about our jobs as professional educators and librarians dedicated to the advancement of knowledge are targeted for criminal punishment just for doing their work." Let's just talk about that and the tenor you just described, the change in the tenor toward librarians who, very much like other officials, including teachers and election workers, don't get in it to be in some sort of a culture war. It's the advancement of knowledge. It's quite simple. They sort of understand the complexity about knowledge being not one party or not biased. It's just knowledge.
That's absolutely right. And, you know, we know that libraries are places of voluntary inquiry. This is the one of the last free public spaces where individuals can go in and they can find materials to answer whatever questions are in their minds. Librarians are one of the most trusted professions. And unfortunately, in a time where we're seeing record shortages in workforce and educators leaving the profession, we're seeing that with librarians as well. There's a lot of chaos and confusion in the profession right now. We're seeing individuals who they're afraid for their jobs. They are being attacked on social media simply for doing their jobs without any sort of agenda. They're just following their professional training and their approved policies. We're seeing individuals approached, in places in their community and called names. So it's a really, really challenging time for the profession. And, we really need to turn down the temperature on this conversation and make sure that we're able to protect these really important tenets of our democracy, the First Amendment.
Our producer, Hannah Holland, found an interesting image from a local library in New Jersey. I want to put it up. It's a little hard to read, but it's titled Tough Topics, and it includes topics like bankruptcy, the loss of a child, rape, and suicide. And at the bottom, it's small print, hard to see, it says everything you want to know but don't really want to ask. As librarians, we're not here to judge. We're here to help. This is an important part of books with tough topics, that you can go to the library and take the book out. If you can find it, you can take it out, and you don't have to have the conversation with anyone if you don't want to have it. This library in New Jersey was making that point, that we're here to serve when it comes to tough topics, not to judge.
That it is so true. Especially our public libraries and our school libraries are really places of escape and a connection to the world. Public libraries in particular offer incredible services to their communities, things that you wouldn't normally think of. It's not just a place to go pick up your next great book, but it's also a place to get help doing your taxes or to find access to grief counseling, even to just be able to talk to someone about a really tough situation that you might be facing and to find connection to a book or a resource or a community service that you might not have known about. So we absolutely have to protect our libraries and our librarians and know that their reach, especially in our small rural communities, is so incredibly important. It really is the life and the heart of the community, both in a school and for a public library. We see things like telehealth resources being offered in some of our small public rural libraries across the state. So those are incredibly vital resources.
Shirley, thanks so much for your time and the work that you are doing at the Texas Library Association. Of course, our great thanks to libraries and librarians across the country. Shirley is the executive director of the Texas Library Association. Thank you.